Alright, folks, here we go. This is the Shenanigans Marble Derby Classic number 32. It's can I not? What? Oh. Can I, what? You can't go slow-mo in a blimp. Alright, well, strike that. Oh, wrong button. My bad. No, everything's fine. Sorry, we're figuring this out. Are we doing this? And the marbles are getting their way down into the backstretch of the first lap. It's Diablo Beck, Cisa, Speeda, and Elson the first. High up on the outside line, almost going out of the track. Everyone boosted it or striking like madmen, but you have to be careful not to strike once you're in the lead. It's Elson to the outside with Diablo Beck up the middle. Cisa, Speeda, and Chewy colliding with an exchange of blows, battling it out for third. In the next slide, we got Cybernetic Kraken, Cisa, Speeda, Foreman. And it looks like Bobo Kramer bringing up that same line as well. Elson the first, out and ahead by about a fifth of a marble, or a fifth of a track length. I'm a little rusty. Going to the outside line as they work their way around the next bend. It's Diablo Beck in second on the first turn of the second lap. Kraken in third, Foreman in fourth, Ryan in fifth, and Bobo Kramer in sixth place, bringing up the main peloton. Flats and Droska, Cisa, Chewy, Purple Toe, and Kira all lumped up, but it's Elson up by a nose, and Peridot is just stacking the jumps. Peridot is stacking the jumps under the guise of the slow motion, going to be landing down in and through the stands. Peridot has found a way to murder themselves in a grand fashion. And I think with that and the spamming of strike, I think we will be turning off the redemptions for the remainder of Derby eternity. And Elson the first crosses the line in first place as the remaining marbles work their way across the line. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 racers on the track, eager to get started as they all work their way out into the first turn on the paperclip for the second lap of the triple stash dash. It's gonna be Diablo Beck and Flats and on the inside line. Chewy and Kraken to the outside looking for a better line with a good boost of speed as they go up through the middle. Kira pulls up in fifth at the top of the peloton with Peridot, Cisa, Ryan, and Foreman giving chase not too far behind, but it's a four marble pile going across the gateway into the backstretch with Diablo Beck holding the lead by a good 20 to 30 marble lengths. Flats and cuts to the inside looking for a better line, but Diablo Beck has a huge boost of speed as they careen into the inside boundary. Kraken and Flatson exchanging as they go into second place into the second turn of the first lap. Kira still holds the peloton lead, but Chewy's making a good boost to the outside line as they go up into the second turn, and Kira with a huge blow to Flatson, almost taking out half their health in a single blow. A good side dash with a big giant metal pot straight to the noggin, and it looks like Kira's not done yet as Flatson hits him back, and both are going to be worse for wear after the exchange of blows. Diablo Beck across the line into the second lap with Kira now sprinting up into second. Kraken holding third and Chewy crossing the line in fourth. All four going to the outside as they work their way to this first turn of the second lap. Chewy still trying to bring up some speed with Lugo, Peridot, and Foreman careening to the outside edge. Flatson with a good line and a good boost of speed comes up through the middle of the pack, holding eighth for now, but Kira's still in the lead with Diablo Beck and Kraken giving chase. Kraken to the inside, Beck to the outside, neck and neck as they go through the backstretch. Chewy with a huge boost of speed coming up through the middle, looking like a police car with the flashing lights across the line. Into the outside edge they go into the final turn, and Chewy's putting on the speed. Chewy up to 30 marble lengths. Lugo going for the kill with a strong blow, but misses to the outside, but holds second on the dismount. Kraken to the outside. Lugo to the inside. Diablo back up the middle, all battling for second with Chewy holding first in the final stretch, losing some speed as they careen out of control. Diablo back sprinting to the outside line, down to the middle. Kraken holding the steady line. Diablo up by a nose, and it's Diablo Beck across the line, taking it on the final stretch. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, the final heat of the Paperclip Crown. Who will be the top three finalists for this first of four Crown races. Let's go! The marbles are off as they cross the line in the huge initial scramble, and Elson the first barely escaping their lives as they were completely ganged up on by the entirety of the marble crew. The hatred for the mods has not subsided in any way over the long extended break we've taken on this show, and it's good to see the killing spirit still alive and well in the non-mod crowd. Seasauce, on the other hand, tries to take the lead from Diablo Beck, who came out in flying colors in the previous race, is going to take it a little bit easier as they go through this time. Flatson just jettisoning some strange propulsion material. Not sure what that is, but I'm sure it's totally regulation with the rules of the Derby as they try to boost their way into the backstretch of the first lap to close the gap in second place. It's Diablo Beck in third, Jahuska in fourth, and Kirazalka in fifth as they go through the second turn. Seasauce holds the lead by about 30 lengths, but Flatson is closing in fast as they go towards the inside line. It's Diablo Beck in third, Jahuska in fourth, Kira and Lugo Valos both holding back in fifth place position as the camera clips through the map entirely. It's Seesaw still in first, but Flatson's making the move. Flatson going to the inside with a wild line. Seesaw slows down as they move to the outside. The afterburner strange propulsion mechanism of Flatson working wonders right now as they go into the back of the first turn of the second lap. It's Seesaw trying to cut through the middle. Flatson down on the center line, and they've got the better line. More propulsion smoke escaping Flatson's vehicle, and it looks like Flatson might be able to pull out a wonderful here as they go into the backstretch. Seesaw's trying to draft off the Flatson, and it looks like the other marbles aren't even close, but Diablo Beck and Jahuska battling for third as they try to keep pace by about 100 marble lengths behind on the backstretch of the second lap. It's Flatson putting on the afterburners. Seesaw's trying to hold the pace, but they're losing a lot of ground quickly. Into the final turn they go. It's coming out to the final stretch, and it could be Flatson all the way with their totally legal and regulated propulsion system that's never been before seen, but somehow still in complete compliance with all the rules here in the Derby. Flatson down the line on the outside. Seesaw's nowhere even to be seen, and it's Flatson by a mile, ladies and gentlemen, taking the victory across the line, and the other marbles file in to finish out the race. Ladies and gentlemen, the first of three in the triple stash dash format here for the Boomerang Crown of the Shenanigans Marble Derby Classic number 32. The marbles getting a good boost of speed off of the line. Flatson coming off of their victory in the previous race, now looking to make a very strong performance as they go down the first major straightaway of the Boomerang into the first major turn. A good line on the outside. The other marbles swooping in as they come through with Lugo Valos and the others trying to keep pace as they go through. Oh my goodness, Chewy grinding cybernetic Kraken down to the ground like a piece of cheese through a fine grater. There's nothing left, and it's just Chewy holding a second place position, trying to chase down Flatson, who once again is absolutely blasting through with a very strange and suspicious propulsion system, now moving on to crystalline powers. Not sure how many tricks Flatson has up their sleeve, but it seems to be working quite well in the current setup. Chewy with a good boost of speed in second. Peridot and Seasauce holding third and fourth respectively. It's going to be Diablo Beck in fifth as they go into the first major straightaway of the second lap. Flatson ahead by a good 90 to 100 marble lengths. Bad bounce, though, as they go into the first major turn. Seesaw slightly more round. Chewy down through the middle, closing the gap as they go through. And just like that, in a single turn, Flatson loses a lot of ground. It seems they're trading handling for speed as they are just careening into these walls full speed, not worrying about the turn and just letting the map doing the turning for them and just holding the pedal to the metal. Flatson ahead by almost a fifth of a lap as they go around the final major turn, coming to the final straightaway with Seesaw once again trying to keep pace in second. It's like the last race all over again, and Flatson crossing the line by another mile-long victory. Seesauce in second, Diablo Beck in third, and the remaining marbles crossing the line to finish out the race. Ladies and gentlemen, the second heat of the Boomerang Crown here in the Shenanigans Marble Derby Classic number 32. The marbles scrambling across the line for initial position as they go through the first minor turn. It looks like it's going to be Foreman out in front with Peridot and Ryan exchanging blows on the starting line. Tamrays with a little bit of damage holding forth as they try to eke out Cybernetic Kraken on the outside line, and the other marbles going down through, and it's 3 across as they go through the underpass, and it looks like it's Peridot taking a blow from Foreman. Foreman using the cleats of traction to just bury some holes in the back of Peridot, but Peridot is undeterred. Peridot and Ryan neck and neck. I've collided with a tree, and it looks like the marbles go through the first major turn, and Peridot with a better line is going to close the gap on Foreman. Ryan still staying back in third. Tamrays and Kraken to the inside, and Tamrays and Kraken head-on collision, both taking damage in the process as they work their way into the second straightaway. Foreman to the inside, Ryan to the center, Peridot to the outside, and all the marbles working their way down. Foreman trying to cut through the middle, and Foreman's going to get a good lead here as they go into the second minor turn. It's Foreman in first, Peridot trying to close the gap in second, but Ryan's going to push through with more speed and a good bounce off the wall, and Ryan now takes first place as they go through the overpass into the final major turn of the first lap, and Ryan is giving Foreman a run for their money. Kira with a huge boost of speed sends Peridot careening towards the inside rail. It's Tamrays in third, Kira in fourth, Peridot in fifth. On the outside, Ryan takes a good jump out to the outside of the turn, Foreman in second, but Tamrays and Kira with better lines through the turn, closing the gap as they go through to the outside of the straightaway into the second lap, and it looks like Ryan will hold first for now, but there are 3 breathing down his neck as they go through. Diablo Beck takes out Lugo Valos somewhere in the back. It doesn't matter, but boy, it must have been vicious. Foreman overtakes Ryan as they cross the line, going into this first major turn of the second lap. Kira overtakes Ryan. Ryan is there's a trail of smoke coming out of Ryan's marble. I think he's blown a gasket. His pistons are firing out of the back of the engine, and he's just pushing the engine a little too hard here, careening out of control to the outside rail, holding second for now. He's got to get everything back together before it's too late, but Chewy's overtaking, and as is Kira as they go through this straightaway, and Foreman's starting to slow down on the outside. Ryan has completely disregarded his vehicle. He's now out on foot, just hoofing it old-fashioned style, and Ryan on a barefoot pace is just going to try to hold the other marbles at bay, but that seems to be a mistake made in error as Chewy, Foreman, and Kira go to the outside rail to overtake in the second straightaway. Tamrays right behind. It's a pack of 5 all fighting for it here as they go in the second straightaway to the second minor turn. Ryan to the outside, once again losing control. It looks like a rogue steering wheel has fallen back into his possession, and he's trying to regain control of everything as Foreman and Kira go to the outside of the second major turn. Ryan back in front, Chewy in fourth, Tamrays in fifth, and here comes Flatten from behind in sixth place as Kira takes a move on the inside line. We've seen this veteran move 1,000 times before. Hold the second place position and then spring your trap before the last turn, and Kira's strategy falling right in fortune as they make their way to the final stretch. It's Kira in first, Foreman in second, Ryan in third. Ryan sprinting in the last second. His toes are falling off, a trail of blood behind the smoke pile of Ryan as he just pushes every last ounce of energy he's got into his legs to try to keep pace with Kira, but Kira seems to have it all wrapped up as they go to the inside for the final stretch, and Kira takes the victory. Ryan collapses in a heap in second, and it's Chewy in fourth, Tamrays in third, Diablo back in fifth, and the remaining marbles cross the line to finish out the race. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the final heat of the Boomerang Crown. Who will be our 3 finalists advancing to the quadruple crown race at the end of the stream? 14 marbles on the starting line, scrambling for position, and Kraken saying their marble needed some motivation, now lashing the whip and driving the marble incredibly hard. And a huge boost of speed right off of the line as they work their way into the first straightaway. It's Lugo going to take second on the outside, Tamrays in third up the middle. It's Kira in fourth, already damaged, with Ryan in fifth on the outside, looking like they're well repaired and ready for another race. Flatson in sixth, a snail with apparently a very long trail, trying to go as hard as it can, but having trouble keeping pace with the slightly faster marbles ahead. It's going to be Chewy in seventh, going to the outside, and Flatson going for a blow on Kraken, but both of them taking a little bit of damage. Kraken needs to be careful. Looks like they might have a target on their back. Kira and Lugo exchanging blows on the dismount of the first major turn. Tamrays holding first after the collisions and letting Flatson now gain in second. The snail speed going turbo. Flatson, what is happening? Absolutely amazing progress progress being made by Flatson. Once again, they want to get it in as hard as they can, having qualified in the first round, and now they're going to qualify in the second round if they can keep this pace through the second lap. Tamres and Flatson neck and neck as they go into the third straightaway. It's Lugo, Valos, Seasauce, and Chewy all battling for third. Foreman comes up through the middle from behind, now taking 6th place as they approach the final turn of the first lap. Flatson and Tamari getting around the outside bend. Lugo in third. Seasauce and Chewy trying to challenge. Lugo falls back to 5th. Seasauce takes 3rd. Chewy takes 4th. The mustache is going up my nose. And Flatson's holding first as they go to the inside rail, but I think they may have forgotten that there's an entire whole second lap they still have to race, and they're starting to fade as they cross the line. Seasauce, Chewy, Lugo, Valos, and Foreman ready to strike, going for the inside rail, and look at the line from Chewy, holding the inside edge as they go into the first minor turn. This could be coming up all roses for Chewy as they go through this turn. Another collision between Lugo and Seasauce. Lugo hanging on for dear life. I think their arm is mostly disconnected from its socket, just wagging behind like a flagtail, trying to keep everything going, and that seems to have created extra drag in their run, and they're just slowing down incredibly, trying to nurse their wound as Kraken, Tamres, and Ryan all overtake at the same time. Flatson through the first major turn of the second lap, still holding first, but Foreman and Seasauce are giving challenge. It's Chewy in 4th, Ryan in 5th, Tamres in 6th, and Kraken with the disconnected shoulder trying to get back in the race as they go to the outside edge, challenging Tamres a second time. Foreman in 1st, now overtaking Flatson. Flatson starting to run out of steam. It's Seasauce in 3rd, but Flatson's got the inside edge on this minor turn, and it looks like they're going to be well ahead with their positive execution. Seasauce overtakes Foreman with a better line, now in 2nd. Foreman back to 3rd. Ryan battling with Chewy at the inside edge, and it looks like they're lining up for the final turn. Seasauce slowing down, Flatson taking the lead again, and Foreman has fallen back far into 3rd by about 60 marble lengths behind Flatson, but it all comes down to the final turn, to the final stretch. It's Seasauce in 2nd, Foreman in 3rd, Flatson out in 1st place, all looking for good lines as they go through. I swear we've seen this 3 times already with Flatson in 1st and Seasauce in 2nd. Looks like Ryan overtakes Foreman in the back in 3rd, but Flatson once again ahead by a mile. Someone find out what that marble's doing. It's absolutely out of control. Flatson's gonna take 1st place. Seasauce in 2nd. Tamres outpaces Ryan for 3rd. Ryan in 4th. Foreman in 5th. Chewy in 6th. Swoopmaster in 7th. And the rest of the marbles cross the line to finish out the Boomerang Crown. Who will be our 3 finalists for this section? Ladies and gentlemen, the first race of the Delta Heat. Let's see what is going to happen with our 13 marbles on the starting line. Looks like Drahuska's going to get an early lead with Ryan up through the middle, Kraken and Elsid looking for the inside line, and Peridot to the outside with Lugo, Valos, and Tamres. Foreman, Flatson, Chewy, Diablebeck, and Kira bringing up the rear, already damaged off the starting line. Tukyo and Drahuska collide, but no damage exchange. Kraken swings on the inside. Lugo swings for Drahuska. Everyone swinging for Drahuska. The mods, once again, the target of everyone else out for blood, but it looks like they might actually finally be working together. Kraken and Drahuska, having both suffered horrific defeat in the previous crown, are now working together to secure positions as they go through the Delta race. Ryan holds the lead in 1st, Kraken pacing in 2nd, Drahuska fending off the peloton in 3rd. In the peloton, we got Tamres and Peridot up front with Elsid, Tukyo, and Foreman leading the charge. A lot of marbles in the back nursing their wounds as they continue through the 2nd turn. Ryan up to the 3rd turn. Drahuska overtakes Kraken. Kraken falling back to take turns defending as they go side by side into the final stretch of the first lap. In the back, it's going to be Tamres, Tukyo, Elsid the 1st, and Peridot. Elsid the 1st, another mod looking to make a move on the inside rail, going to be joining Drahuska and Kraken in that 2nd through 4th position. Ryan crosses the line with a good 60 marble length lead in 1st. Kraken in 2nd now puts on the speed. Drahuska elects to stay behind to keep the other marbles at bay. Elsid fighting at the top of the peloton. 3 mods leading the charge behind Ryan, and this could be an excellent strategy executed if they can stay to the plan. Ryan in 1st as Kraken closes the gap. Drahuska trying to come up to offer some assistance, and Elsid keeping Tikiryo and Tamres busy in 4th place. It's Ryan to the final turn. The 2nd turn, as they work their way around in that 1st place position. Drahuska and Kraken side by side in 2nd and 3rd. Tamres now makes a move ahead of Elsid, but Tamres has barely any health, and it looks like the mods have blood in their eyes. Kraken overtakes Ryan with a better line into the turn. Ryan, I don't know where he's going. Oh my God, Ryan's chassis has bent in half. The torque of the wheels has actually bent the frame completely out of alignment, and Ryan now has no ability to steer his vehicle. He's veering wildly from side to side with no control. Once again, Ryan pushing his rig just too hard, and Kraken will take the victory. The mods plan working beautifully. Tabriz gets ahead of Elson in second. Elson settles for third. Ryan limps along in fourth place with their disabled vehicle. Diablo in fifth, and Drahuska, the third mod, falling all the way back to sixth place before finishing the race. And that's going to do it for the first heat of 3 in the Delta Crown. And the marbles are off, scrambling across the line for the second heat of 3 here in the Delta Crown. Diablo Beck and Foreman looking to have the initial lead as they go through into the first turn. It's Seasauce, Flatson, Elcid, Tamriz, and Ryan battling for third place with Peridot up in the mix as well. Peridot takes the inside. Ryan scoots to the outside. Seasauce holds the middle as Flatson lose a lot of ground. And it looks like it's going to be Foreman coming out in first place once the marbles start to exit the first turn. Elcid into the inside with second place on their minds. Seasauce in third, and very much worse for the wear as they have a lot of damage and are barely keeping it together as they continue to push through, with the other marbles pushing from behind. Kraken and Flatson battling it out for third place. Both marbles having qualified already, and it looks like there's bad blood between them already. It looks like it's going to be Foreman holding the lead for now, but Kraken gets a good boost off of the second turn dismount, goes through the straightaway and takes the lead into the third turn. Flatson holding second for now at full health. Kraken running for their lives, knowing that another 2 blows could take them out of the competition entirely. Diablo Beck up through the middle, holding second place for now, trying to give Kraken some relief, but it looks like it's not going to happen. It's Flatson and Foreman still on the track against Kraken as they hold the line across the lap into the second lap. It's going to be Peridot holding fourth. Diablo Beck in fifth. Ryan with a good boost of speed. Oh my goodness, is Ryan doing it again, pushing their rig too hard to the point of breaking. Into the first turn they go. Ryan making a move up in fifth place and definitely with a chance to overtake on the first turn. There they go ahead of Flatson. Down to the dismount of the turn, chasing Peridot, tied for fourth. It's going to be Foreman trying to hold second. Kraken slowing down in first as they hit the inside rail. All the marbles making their way through the second straightaway to the third turn. Second turn. Second turn, it's Kraken in first, but Foreman not letting up as they work their way down into the second straightaway. It's going to be Elson in third, Peridot in fourth, Diablo Beck and Ryan holding fifth as they all go towards the inside, except Foreman holding the middle line as they go into the third turn. It's looking pretty strong for Foreman, but Kraken and Peridot are not far behind. It could all come down to the final straightaway. Foreman trying to find one last boost of speed. Kraken just trying to stay alive, and Peridot has climbed all the way up into second place, and they could hold it out to the final stretch. Foreman keeping the pace by about 50 marble lengths will cross the line in first place, and Peridot takes second away from Kraken with a last-minute boost across the line in the final straightaway, and the rest of the marbles cross the line to finish out the race. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It is the final heat of the Delta Crown, our third race of 4 to qualify for the finals. The marbles already off to a great start as they work their way across the starting line through the straightaway into the first turn. Flatson, once again, I swear something is going on with that marble. We might have to introduce some regulation after the racing we've seen here today. It's going to be Kira in second, giving Flatson a run for their money right out of the gate as they exit the first turn. Chewy in third on the inside rail. Foreman right down the middle in fourth. Trahuska in fifth. Diablo Beck in sixth, already at the brink of death as the marbles continue to push through into the second turn of the first lap. It's Kira putting on a lot of speed. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep that pace through the rest of the match, but right now it's working out in their favor. Out of the second turn, Kira ahead by about 20 marble lengths. Chewy in second, Flatson in third, Foreman in fourth as they once again go to the outside as the other marbles go in. Kira trying to find a good line through the turn, but it looks like they've misjudged it just by a little bit. Chewy closes the gap as they approach through, and Whoop Master and Diablo Beck cutting the inside of the corner corner, trying to get down with a good boost of speed. And it looks like Whoopmaster might be causing some trouble here up at the front of the ranks. Flatson back to fourth, Foreman in fifth, Diablo-Beck in sixth, and it's Chewy and Whoopmaster chasing Kira down across the line into the second lap. And Kira's got her work cut out for her, trying to get down in first place through the first turn. Chewy with a good boost of speed right down the middle. Kira's lines continuing to be questionable through these turns. Chewy nailing the center of each turn as they go through. Now in second as they go across the first turn. Whoopmaster in third. A big gap between as they go to fourth and fifth with Flatson and Diablo-Beck respectively. It's going to be Kira holding second. Chewy now in first as they go across into the second turn. Chewy to the inside rail. Kira up the middle. Whoopmaster with a huge boost of speed. Some strange quartz-like crystal power being propelled at the back of Whoopmaster. Chewy this time using some fake transparent force to compel their marble ahead as they go to the final turn, and Kira, a trail of chicken eggs just shooting out of the back of that chicken hat as fast as possible. The strangest propulsion mechanism I've seen in the Derby history, and it seems to be working as they are neck and neck with the other two competitors in the final turn. Chewy wide to the outside, Whoopmaster down the middle, Kira to the inside. It's 3 wide as they go across the final stretch. It's Chewy in first, Whoopmaster in second, all of them lashing the whips in the back of the horse to get them to go as quickly as possible in the final sprint, but it's Chewy in the end by 2 marble lengths ahead of Whoopmaster. Kira not going to be able to shoot enough eggs out of her ass to hold anything but third, and the rest of the marbles cross the line to finish out the race. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the first heat of 3 for the MSLA crown. We have 14 marbles on the starting line, fighting for position as they all go through. Lugo Valos is going to take the lead up the middle with Mason, a.k.a. Miles, coming out of retirement just for the final crown. Foreman in second as they overtake Lugo. It looks like Ryan Druska, Tamrays also the first, Flatson, Paradox, Kraken, and Diablo-Beck all fighting for position as they go into the first turn. It's going to be Mason, a.k.a. Miles, taking a little bit of a stop from Lugo up front, but a bit of a bounce in the track there, causing some speed issues for Lugo. Bounces to the outside line, back to fourth place. Terry with a wild line through the second turn, and it looks like it's going to be Foreman in first, Mason, a.k.a. Miles in second, and Tamrays in third. Lugo Valos holding fourth, but Kraken has a good boost of speed on the inside line. Flatson in fifth or sixth, not giving away just quite yet, continuing to push as hard as humanly possible. Hopefully they're saving something for the final race. It's going to be Foreman and Tamrays neck and neck as they go through the box line. It looks like it's going to be Tamrays back to second. Mason, a.k.a. Miles, with a better line now in first. Lugo overtakes to second, but it looks like it's going to be Flatson with a good boost of speed. The snail trail now igniting with a plasma propulsion of fire through the next turn. It's going to be coming up to the end bend, and it looks like it's Flatson holding the lead. Tamrays and Foreman try to get a better line, but Kraken's got a lot of speed on the outside, tries to fight his way through, and fight his way through he does, and it's going to be Kraken taking the lead as they go around into the wide bend. It's A.K. Miles in second, Lugo Valos and Foreman tied for third, Flatson back in fifth, Diablo-Beck, Paradox, Druska, and Elsa the first, forming the lead of the peloton with a couple more marbles trailing behind. Kraken holding a good line through the first wide major turn. Mason, a.k.a. Miles, holding second as it comes up into the hairpin, and it looks like it's going to be Lugo Valos and Flatson not too far behind. Foreman a little further back in fifth, but Mason, a.k.a. Miles, Cybernetic Kraken, and Lugo Valos 3 wide as they come up into the hammerhead turn, hairpin turn, and it looks like it's going to be Kraken starting off in the lead position. Lugo with a huge boost of speed. I don't even know where that came from. Now coming out in first place as they go into the apex of the hairpin. Mason, a.k.a. Miles, trying to cut to the inside. Flatson with a good boost of speed to the outside, still pushing as hard as humanly possible, with Foreman, Kraken, and Druska not too far behind. Coming up into the final stretch of the first lap, it's Lugo Valos in first, Mason, a.k.a. Miles in second, and Flatson in third. Kraken holds fourth as they go to the outside line, working their way up into the line to get into the second lap. Lugo Valos looking steady as they cut towards the middle, Kraken and Flatson going to the inside line, and it looks like it's going to hold position as they cross the line into the second lap, but Mason, a.k.a. Miles, is now starting to put on the afterburners, the blue trail of speed blazing out from behind them. Flatson once again igniting the plasma boost to get themselves propelled to third. Foreman shrieking in like a comet. Look at the fire trails blazing across the map. Kraken out there with a tiny little fart trail. It's not going to be enough, and it looks like Kraken's run out of gas, literally, as he just halts to a stop in the first turn of the second lap, down back to 8th place. Kraken has completely fallen apart. Can't match up to the speed of the blazing plasma trails. Droska in the car trying to burst on those nitros, but the nitros seem to have backfired and the calls start out on the inside edge. It's going to be Chewy in fifth trying to make their move on the outside. Mason AK Miles trying to regain second as Chewy gets a good boost of speed to the outside line. It's Flatson in first, Lugo in fourth, tied with Foreman and Droska finally getting their car back in action, cutting to the inside line, and it looks like Droska might be looking to strike the place in the finals here as they go for it on the first heat of 3 in the MSLA crown. It's Flatson in first as they come up out of the box turns. It's Chewy in second and Mason making Miles in third. Druska in fourth. Lugo and Foreman tied for fifth. Diablebeck, Ryan, the pack of marbles catching up. Elson and Kira not even trying in this race, just happy to be alive as they continue through the motions. Flatson into the wide turn, holding first for now, and Chewy falling behind now to about 50 marble lengths. Lugo Valos a further 100 marble lengths behind in third. Foreman overtaking in fourth. Ryan and Kraken tied for fifth. The other marbles seem to be giving up hope as Flatson and Chewy are once again running away with it. How does Flatson do it? Race after race after race. They just won't quit as they go into the final hairpin turn. Can Flatson put it away for the fourth time today? Going down to the hairpin with a good 70 marble lead on Chewy. Chewy holds second, Lugo in third, Foreman in fourth, Mason AK Miles back into fifth now as Ryan Paradox Kraken and Tukyoyo put some pressure on from behind. Flatson slowing down in the final hairpin turn, but they've got a good line down the middle. Lugo with a wild line on inside, Paradox with a line on the outside, Lugo a bit more speed, closing the gap. Flatson's lead is completely dissolved. Chewy just 20 marble lengths in closing as they go into the final stretch. Lugo Valls with a huge boost of speed coming up from behind. Flatson giving it all they've got for one final push before they cross the line. Chewy up to second, holding Lugo at bay, and once again, even despite the boost from Chewy, oh my goodness, closes the gap, but not enough. Flatson holds first, Chewy in second, and Lugo a competitive fight for third as the remaining marbles cross the line to finish out the race. All right, 15 marbles across the starting line. Damage already being dealt as they fight for initial position. And it looks like it's going to be Mason A.K. Miles escaping without a scratch on him in first place with a decent lead, but anything can change this early in the competition. Droska's getting to the inside in second with Flatson and Tamrays holding good middle lines. Kira to the outside of the first turn as Lugavalis has come through, and this bounce right here is absolutely devastating if you catch it poorly, but it looks like most of the competitors going through, and Kira said they needed to inflate their inflatable dragon tube with the fire trail, and inflate they did. I think they used hydrogen to float that thing because there is flame coming out like nobody's business, and they are using that propulsion of flames to their advantage. The Dragon Floaty, known for its strong performance in the Derby format, both offering protection and propulsion simultaneously, seems to be in a good position at full health and in second place. What I'm trying to say is the Floaty works. Get you one. Through the square turns, it's going to be Flatson in first, Tamrays in second, and Kira in third. Chewy comes around in fourth place with Troska and Foreman holding the lines. Mason A.K. Miles, Whoop Master, and a bunch of other marbles closing the peloton as they exit the square turn into the wide turn. It's Flatson in first, coming up through the corner. It looks like it's going to be Kira in second, Chewy in third, fighting for position as they go through. Chewy with a huge boost of speed on the dismount of the turn, leaving Kira in the dust as they sprint through the wide turn. It's Flatson in first, but Chewy's closed the gap down to about 30 marble lengths. 50 marble lengths behind, we've got Droska, Kira, Tamrays, Mason A.K. Miles, Rootmaster, Lugo Vallis, and Ryan, all fighting for position in third and fourth. Droska gets ahead of the pack by just a little bit, and Chewy's closing the gap on Flatson, narrowing the straightaway as they approach the final hairpin turn of the first lap. A big exchange of blows between Chewy and Flatson, both punching each other as mightily as they can, and both suffering about half health loss as they careen to the outside edge. Troska tries to cut in the middle, but decides to go for a better line. Tamrays through a center line, Mason A.K. Miles and Kira coming off the outside edge. Ryan with a wild striking blow on Mason A.K. Miles, and Mason A.K. Miles is lucky to escape with their life after that one, as they're down to just about a fifth health remaining. It's Troska, Chewy, Flatson, and Mason all going through the final turn of the first lap to try to get in the second, all of them having been damaged, and we might be seeing some eliminations in the front of the back for the first time here tonight. This map is brutal. Drohuska to the outside, overtakes Flats into second. Mason, a.k.a. Miles, has seemed to have found some hidden speed and now boosts up into third. Chewy holding first as they careen to the inside edge with Drohuska following suit. It's across the line. Chewy in first, Drohuska second, Mason, Miles third, and Flats in fourth. The other marbles not able to keep pace for now, but they could close the gap in future turns with Tamri and Kira leading the peloton into the first turn of the second lap. There we go. A good boost of speed from Mason, a.k.a. Miles. Oh my goodness, they've gone to blue. What is happening? Mason, a.k.a. Miles, seems to have found a secret propulsion mechanism that was being used by Flatson previously, and even Flatson can't keep pace right now as Mason blasts themselves into first place with an unnatural propulsion, and into the square turns they go. It's Mason in first, Drohuska in second, Chewy in third through the first turn of the square, and it looks like it's going to be Flatson holding fourth for now as they come across the street. It's Kira in fifth, using the Dragon Floaty as best they can, but it seems to not match up to the performance of the hidden propulsion tactics of Flatson and Mason, a.k.a. Miles. Chewy now finds their way into first ahead of Mason somehow, but Mason hasn't given up yet as they keep the lead at about 5 to 10 marble lengths. Kira in third, Flatson in fourth, Drohuska in fifth place, limping along with barely any recognizable bodywork left on that car. It's been damaged and beaten beyond recognition and is now just going along in its own rusted form and holding third for now, but Drohuska's got a good line on the inside edge, and Drohuska could be making a move here to make a final stand for the final crown. It's Drohuska to the outside, swinging for the fences on Kira, but Kira dodges with a bit of a slowdown and then acceleration beyond, and Drohuska's gonna have to fall back to third to regroup and go for a second strategy. Oh my goodness, there it is! Brave for Reals takes out Paradox, Tamri takes it out, a.k.a. Miles. It's death and carnage across the track as we approach the final turn. It's the hairpin. Chewy in first as he goes to the outside. It's Drohuska up the middle, Kira to the outside with Kraken following suit. The two mods chasing down the two subs as they work their way into the hairpin. It's Chewy to the center, Drohuska to the inside, and another good boost from Drohuska. I don't know what's keeping that car together. It might be 4 strips of duct tape and a bobby pin, but it looks like it's working as Drohuska comes to the outside of the hairpin turn, moving to the outside edge with a good boost of speed. Chewy giving challenge in second, Kira high to third. The Dragon Floaty might be coming back to strike in the final stretch, and it's gonna be Kira and Drohuska and Chewy 3 wide in the final leg. Drohuska blows up. They finally failing their structural integrity compromised beyond capacity, and they've careened out of control to the inside edge, losing all speed and direction, and it's nothing but Kira left for the straightaway, taking it home. Drohuska limps across in second before exploding in spontaneous combustion. Chewy holds third, Kraken holds fourth, and Lugo is gonna finish it out in fifth as the remaining marbles cross the line to finish out the race. Oh God, give my mouse back. Shit. And the marbles are off. It's the final race of the MSLA crown. Who will be our 3 qualifiers advancing to the quadruple crown race at the end of the Shenanigans Marble Derby Classic number 32. Chewy starting off with the initial lead in first place, but Lugo's right behind in second. Tamri's Wootmaster, Flatson, and Foreman in third place, 4 wide as they go into the second turn. The box finally getting through. It looks like Lugo's got a good line on the inside in first at a strong boost of speed. Chewy holds second. Wootmaster holds third, and Katie in fourth on the outside line, getting ahead of Chewy, looking to get ahead of Wootmaster. Flatson and Foreman swinging for it, and it looks like it's going to be a close quarters combat between the marbles through the first turn of the box turf, and it looks like it's going to be Lugo holding first for now as they hit the final turn. Wootmaster gets in second, Diablobeck in third. Looks like Flatson in fourth as they all cross the crumble, and it's a giant pile at the front of the peloton with Lugo Valos streaming ahead by a good 70 to 80 marble lengths on the final turn of the box. Chewy holds second. Looks like Mason, a.k.a. Miles, in third. Flatson in fourth, Diablobeck moving in as well. Katie and Foreman all making strikes, and the positions continue to change at the top of the peloton with Chewy just ahead by an inch on second place. Peridot making a move with the green trail streaming behind, and Lugo Valos holding that 70 marble length lead in first. They go through the wide bend. It's going to be Peridot in second, Chewy in third, Katie did it all in fourth, Drohuska in fifth, Diablobeck and Wootmaster neck and neck for sixth place. Flatson coming up from behind, not giving up on that secret propulsion system just quite yet, as a bunch more marbles trail behind, just trying to stay alive. Lugo through the overpass as they hold first place with that 70 marble length lead. Peridot to the inside in second, Wootmaster to the outside in third, but a lot of damage has been dealt to Wootmaster. Gonna have to be careful if if they want to finish out this race. Swings for Peridot, but misses as they transfer the direction. And from behind, Katie Did It All steamrolls them into the track. They flapped out flat like a two-dimensional printout straight out of a Warner Brothers cartoon. And Katie Did It All not to be messed around with here, using their advanced body weight to just absolutely crush the competition beneath their feet and leave them flattened on the pavement for all to see in horrific display. And Katie Did It All is going to hold third as they continue on into the second lap. Lugo Valos taking first place seriously now as they increase their lead to closer to 100 marble lengths and crossing the line. Peridot just keeping pace in second, trying to play the points game. Flatson in third with Diablobeck, Katie Did It All, and Kira all neck and neck as they cross the line into the second lap. Mason, a.k.a. Miles, refiguring out their propulsion system to try to outperform Flatson, and there they have it. They've got it back to blue, and it looks like all systems are go for Mason, a.k.a. Miles, but they've got a lot of ground to catch up if they want to clear first place before the end of this second lap. It's Lugo in first, still holding the lead. Peridot in second has closed a little. Kira now up in third. Mason, a.k.a. Miles, taking on Katie Did It All and Diablobeck, trying to keep their distance. Katie Did It All, a lot of damage done, but known to kill a marble or two in their day, and certainly a force to be reckoned with as we go through the box turns. It's Lugo Valos holding that lead. Peridot falls back in second. Kira taking over on the inside edge. The Dragon Floaty once again working overtime as Mason, a.k.a. Miles, Katie Did It All, Diablobeck, and Flatson fight for fourth. Through the final turn of the box, it looks like it's got to be Lugo still holding that lead, but Kira has overtaken Peridot. Peridot doesn't want anything to do with it, and it looks like we're coming into the final bend here as Lugo Valos continues to dominate on this track. As Diablobeck in fourth, Mason, a.k.a. Miles wide on the outside, Flats into the inside. Katie Did It All looking for their next victim as they go through the turn. At Lugo is still holding that 100 marble length lead in the wide bend, and it looks like they might very well be in trouble. Uncatchable. It's Mason, a.k.a. Miles, once again putting the propulsion system to the test, tries to take out Peridot, but Peridot responds with a back kick straight to the jaw of Mason, a.k.a. Miles, and Mason, a.k.a. Miles doesn't know what to do with it. There we go. Finally gets a blow. The kicks are flying back and forth between the two. It's like a tie kickboxing match between these two marbles on the track, and they seem to have it out for one another, but they're forgetting the true competition, which is Lugo Valos up ahead by a mile as he goes into the hairpin turn full speed. Kira holding fourth for now with the Dragon Floaty. Katie Did It All in fifth with Diablobeck, Flatson, and Ryan giving chase. The other marbles don't want anything to do with it, just staying back and trying to be happy with being alive. Lugo in first place, the gap slowly closing, but it might be too little too late for Mason, a.k.a. Miles, as they go into the final stretch. It's Mason the inside, Peridot to the outside, Lugo Valos not even on the screen anymore, and Lugo Valos absolutely untouchable from first race to the end is gonna cross the line in first place with the other marbles not even close to finishing on the second line. It's Peridot for second place, Kira retaking third, Mason, a.k.a. Miles in fourth, Katie Did It All in fifth. And that is going to do it for the qualifiers, ladies and gentlemen. All 4 crowns completed. Let's take a look at the leaderboard and see who has reigned supreme. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the quadruple crown race for the Shenanigans Marble Derby Classic number 32. Thank you all for being here. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves. And now it all comes down to this. We have our 8 competitors ready to go. A couple double names having outdone themselves in the qualifying round. Going to increase their odds, but no guarantee of success. So it's still any one of these 8 competitors' chances to take the victory here today. Will we see Flatson take all 3 podium slots? Or will we see an upset from one of the lesser qualifying marbles? Well, let's find out. We go now to the racetrack at the starting line, ready to go. 2 races to decide the winner. Let's see who's going to take home the first ever quadruple crown here on the Shenanigans Marble Derby Classic number 32. The race begins. The marbles are off. They scramble across the line, and it looks like it's going to be an interesting start. No damage to be dealt, so the marbles are going to have to finish this off the proper original racing way. It's Kira Zalka in the lead and first with a good line towards the inside edge. Chewy in second, Flatson in third as they all collide on the outside rail. It looks like Kira's got a good line. Coming up in second, it's Chewy and Flatson 2 marble lengths ahead or behind by third. It looks like we got Lugo in 4th and Kraken in 5th. Diablobec in 6th as the marbles continue to push through on the next straightaway. Looks like Kiro rolling steadily in 1st, keeping a good line as they continue to push through. Chewy's holding 2nd, but starting to lose steam. It looks like Flatson trying to overtake in 3rd as they go through the straightaway into the 2nd turn of the 1st lap. And Lugo Valls in a huge collision, pushing the marbles high on the outside of the rail. And it looks like it's getting a little dirty here as we go into the final straightaway of the 1st lap. It looks like Chewy's overtaking Kraken or Kira as they go through into the 2nd lap. Flatson on the inside trying to overtake in 3rd. Lugo in 4th, Kraken in 5th. The marbles continuing to push through, but there it is across the line. Chewy in 1st by 3 marble lengths ahead of Kira and Flatson. Lugo holding 4th, starting to trail behind. Kraken, Diablobec, Elson, and Ryan all making moves as they collide on the outside rail, continuing to push forward as best they can. It's Flatson still in the lead, now up by 3 marble lengths ahead of Chewy. Chewy coming through in 2nd, Kira in 3rd, Lugo in 4th, and Diablobec in 5th. The marbles evenly spaced as they continue to push through the 2nd straightaway, coming up to the final turn, and it looks like marbles are starting to make a move on the outside. Chewy and Lugo on the outside, Diablobec, Kira, and Flatson on the inside. All 5 marbles looking to make it happen here as they approach the final turn, coming down to the final stretch. It's gonna be a mad dash in the finish. Let's see what's gonna happen. Chewy and Flatson neck and neck as they make their way to the outside rail. Kira falls farther behind in 3rd, Lugo in 4th, Ryan in 5th, Diablobec in 6th, and it looks like it's gonna be Flatson and Chewy neck and neck for the final stretch. All the marbles pushing as hard as they can. Flatson's keeping Chewy at bay. No one around. It looks like it's gonna come through, and it's Flatson holding the victory. No surprise, the strange propulsion mechanism working in overtime for 3 of the 4 crowns and the quadruple crown. Definitely not an upset to be found here. Flatson rigging the game from start to finish and taking home the first ever quadruple crown prize. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week for the Shenanigans Marble Derby Classic.